George Clooney and Amal Clooney have long been hailed as one of the most glamorous and enviable couples in Hollywood. From their stunning wedding in Venice in 2014 to their shared passion for philanthropy, the Clooneys have become the epitome of elegance and success. George, a Hollywood icon, and Amal, a brilliant international human rights lawyer, seem to have it all: good looks, wealth, fame, and a picture-perfect family life. The public has always seen them as a match made in heaven, an unstoppable force that gives back to the world and defies the typical celebrity stereotype. Together, they've been involved in causes ranging from political advocacy to charitable foundations, gaining admiration for their commitment to improving the world. But, as is often the case in Hollywood, things may not always be as perfect as they seem. For years, we've all admired the Clooneys' seemingly flawless relationship, and many assumed there were no skeletons in their closet. However, what George discovered recently about his wife's past might make everyone rethink just how perfect they really are. This shocking twist in their relationship has sent shockwaves through the celebrity world, leaving fans wondering if even the strongest of Hollywood marriages are immune to secrets. What made George Clooney speechless? Imagine living with someone for years, sharing intimate moments, and building a family together, only to suddenly uncover a side to them that you never knew existed. That's exactly what happened when George Clooney stumbled upon some of Amal Clooney's most closely guarded secrets. It all started innocently enough when George began to look into some old files related to Amal's past work, mostly for curiosity's sake, perhaps as a way to learn more about his wife's career before they met. But what he found wasn't just professional documents or achievements. He uncovered something much more personal, something that had been hidden from public view for years. While Amal Clooney is known for her brilliant legal mind and her unwavering commitment to justice, what George discovered about her past was far from what he had imagined. Before she became the global superstar human rights lawyer we know today, Amal had a past that was shrouded in secrecy. This isn't about her professional achievements, but rather her personal life, relationships, acquaintances, and past decisions that had remained largely unspoken. At the heart of this discovery is the fact that Amal's early years before becoming the face of human rights advocacy involved some unsavory and controversial figures. Sources close to the couple suggest that George was stunned to find out that some of the people Amal had associated with in her earlier life were far from the type of role models she now portrays. Now, before we go any further, let's be clear, this is not about Amal doing anything criminal or unforgivable. However, these revelations paint a very different picture of the woman who George thought he knew so well. Could Amal's past affiliations and the choices she made back then affect their current life together? The discovery forced George to re-examine who he thought he married, leaving him speechless and somewhat shaken. The secrets that shocked George Clooney. So, what exactly did George find out? It appears that Amal's early life wasn't as pristine as her public persona would suggest. Some have even whispered about her connections to certain political figures and controversial events that have not been fully disclosed to the public. While these things are far from scandalous, they represent a side of Amal that George was unaware of until recently. In addition to those revelations, some have speculated that Amal may have been involved in relationships or friendships that George never knew about. These were not necessarily romantic, but rather ties with individuals whose moral compasses may not align with George's values. This has raised questions about whether or not Amal's past associations could pose challenges for the couple in the future, especially in terms of their public image. George Clooney, who is known for his own strong moral stance on political issues and social justice, may have been taken aback by the extent of these revelations. It's one thing to support a cause or a person publicly, but it's another to learn that those associations were more intimate and influential in your partner's earlier years than you realized. How has George reacted to Amal's past? It's natural for George Clooney to have had an initial emotional response to these discoveries. Who wouldn't? Finding out that your spouse has a hidden past can shake your trust and perspective. However, sources close to the Clooney family reveal that George's response wasn't one of anger or disappointment, but rather a sense of confusion and disbelief. After all, George had known Amal for years and never suspected anything like this. Despite the initial shock, insiders report that George has shown understanding and support for Amal. Rather than react with judgment, he's taken the time to process what he's learned, and they've had some deep, honest conversations about the secrets that have been kept from him. Amal, in turn, has apologized for not being fully transparent about her past, but insists that these were part of her journey before she became the influential figure she is today. In the end, it seems that George is willing to forgive Amal for her past and embrace the person she's become. After all, she is still the woman who has spent years working to make the world a better place. Her past, no matter how shocking it may be, doesn't change her dedication to her career, family, and charitable causes.